guys, it's Pia here, and today I have a really special collection video for you guys. So you might remember that some time ago I finished a collection based on the 7 deadly sins that were also inspired by some sort of woodland critters. And then you might also know that in my series 7, I have some other customs that were inspired by the 7 deadly sins. And those are the ones that I actually made originally, so I made them about 3 years ago, but I'd kept them as a secret, so you guys didn't know that those were made. And then a lot of you were surprised when I didn't use the newer customs in my series, but I had already filmed my series at the point where I'd made the new customs, so that wouldn't have worked out. But I thought it would be really fun to make a little comparison video where you can see both the new customs and the old ones, and we can kind of compare what they look like, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion of which custom I prefer for the deadly sin, and I'm really intrigued to hear which custom you guys prefer, because there's a huge difference between both of these customs, even though they're inspired by the same sin. So without further ado, I'm just going to start showing these to you in the same way that they were introduced to you in 7, so starting off with Sloth and ending with Pride. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this comparison video, and yeah, let's see what they all look like. So here's Sloth first. So here is Sloth from 7. He was the one that I made originally. You might remember him from the series. He's definitely one of my favorite ones that I've made for the series. The reason I chose this base figure for him was that it looked really sleepy, so I thought that it would make a really cute version of Sloth. But then the newer one looks like this. Ta-da! This one was made from dachshund base, as you guys obviously can see. I also decided to paint the eyes so that they would look kind of sleepy and lazy. And it's obviously really different from the other one, except that they're similar in the way that they're both kind of monochrome, if that makes any sense. So this one's obviously just grayscale with black and white, and then there's a little bit of blue in the eyes, because that's the color of Sloth. And then with the old one, it's just white and blue with a little bit of pink, because I thought that it would be cute. So these two, it's really hard for me to compare them because they look so different, and I had very different ideas in mind, but I'm gonna have to say that I preferred the old one because I think it looks really cute, even though a lot of people thought that this one symbolizes Sloth much better, but I just prefer the way that this one looks. So I think this one wins. By the way, as a little disclaimer, these are just my opinions, so you can obviously disagree with me, and I'd actually love to hear you guys' opinion, so feel free to tell me what you think. But here is the second one. This is Gluttony. This is what my old version looks like. This is who I used in my series. So this one obviously has some really cute kind of frosting on the head, and some sprinkles going on, and a little cherry, and some candies, and a donut, so she's really over the top. She also has a bunch of stuff there, some blueberries and some strawberries, and yeah, she's just super sweet, literally, and super cute. And she herself was kind of inspired by a gingerbread design, which is actually something that you can see in my newer version. He looks like this. So as you can see, the base color is actually the same, and also this brown is pretty much exactly the same as what I used for the old one. He also has a lot of sprinkles on his face, and he also has these kind of brown dots here that make him look like he's frowning. So these are really similar in a way, and that's probably because I couldn't be inspired by Gluttony a lot. There's not a lot to me that comes to mind other than making it over the top with lots of candies and stuff, and that's why I made this one really simple, because I didn't want to use the same idea with him, because I wanted the original one to stand out a little bit more once I used her in my series. So here's a comparison. This is what they look like together, and once again, I'm gonna have to say that I actually prefer the old one, because I thought that this one just... I don't know, I put a lot of thought into how I would make her, and I made her from this base because I thought that it looked kind of fluffy and maybe a little bit chubby. This one isn't as chubby, and he wasn't even meant to be, because there are a lot of people who eat a lot of sweets and aren't fat, so like my husband. So this one was definitely kind of inspired by that. So this one isn't even supposed to look fat, whereas this one is kind of supposed to look a little bit well-fed. But yeah, let me know which one you prefer. I think this one's a little bit nicer, but if you prefer this one, then that's also fine. Then the third sin that we are introduced to in 7 is Lust. This is what she looks like in the series. I decided to give her these blue gems in the eyes that have a heart shape, because dark blue, if I remember correctly, is associated with lust. And other than that, I wanted her to be pink, because I personally kind of think that this one symbolizes more sort of passion and lust than blue would. But I wanted to keep that in the bow and in the eyes. And I also wanted her to have a kind of seductive expression, so that's why she has these very pretty big eyes with these made up eyelids and everything. So this is what she looks like. And then the newer one is very different. So as you can see, this one features really natural colors compared to her. She has really big antlers with lots of roses, and this one was actually the first kind of woodland critter 7 deadly sin thing that I did. I can't really explain what the inspiration here was, other than that she has once again dark blue eyes, due to that being the color of lust. And with this one, I just wanted her to be kind of like a woodland critter more than anything else. I don't think she symbolizes lust very well, to be honest. She just looks like a very pretty little cat. That's just my opinion, and that is why I also prefer the old one. So yeah, I definitely prefer the old one to the new one, even though the new one looks cool, but I don't think she symbolizes lust very well. So the fourth sin that I have to show you here is Rafa. This is the original one that I made for 7. As you can see, it was made from a sticker-eyed LPS. I thought that that would be perfect because then I could reshape the eyes so that he looks really mad. I gave him scars to make him look like he's been in battle because he's been just really angry at everyone and getting into fights. He has red gems in the eyes, obviously, and I wanted him to have kind of a flame design because I associate wrath with some sort of uncontrollable anger, which would be symbolized very well in fire because fire can get out of control very easily, and it can hurt lots of people, much like wrath can. So this was my original one, and here is the new one. So here's the new one. This is what he looks like. He also has a kind of similar color scheme in the sense that he has a light base color. It's not white, but it's gray. I think I did that on purpose so that he wouldn't look exactly like my older one. And then he has this dark fluff instead of the fire one. And then other than that, he has a kind of flame design going around his eyes and on his legs and on his back. And then he has these horns like everyone else has in this collection. But I wanted them to have these... to make it look kind of like they were made from glass that had been shattered a little bit, if that makes any sense. Just to kind of symbolize once again that he's been in some fights and he has broken his horns a little bit. I hope that makes any sense. But here they are next to each other. Ta-da, this is what they look like. Once again, I'm gonna have to say that I prefer the old one just because being able to paint the eyes exactly like I wanted to, I think he looks a little bit more angry than this one. But I do love the design of this one and I absolutely love the horns, but I don't think he symbolizes wrath as well as this one does. So, once again, I prefer the old one. Then we have the fifth one. This is Greed. This is my original one that I made for 7. I really love this one. I can't help myself. When I designed him, I wanted him to be like this really small guy who has all of these jewelry things going on, and that, I don't know, that he's just this little king who has too much power considering his size, and that he's just so full of himself. And I absolutely love him. I think that it turned out really great. By the way, it is a conscious choice that the gems in the eyes are bigger because since he's Greed, I thought that that would go really well with his theme. And then obviously, as you can see, he has a crown and some jewelry on him. And I actually got this wrong with both of my Greed customs. I thought that purple was the color that was associated with Greed, but actually it's yellow. And I thought that yellow was for pride, so that's a common thing that I've done wrong with these guys. But I'm going to show you my newer version of Greed first, and then let's talk about it a little bit more. So here's my newer version of Greed. As you can see, he is really magnificent, at least in my opinion. I wanted to put a lot of emphasis on the horns and make them really beautiful and detailed, and give him just tons and tons of details to make him look really regal. Once again, the purple is here in the eyes, even though, as I said, yellow is apparently the color of the sin of Greed. But yeah, I got that wrong. But I think purple goes really well, and some people pointed out that purple is a royal color and that it was apparently the most expensive color back in the days, so that's maybe a good idea then. Maybe I'm not as goofy as I think I am. But yeah, so this is what he looks like. He does feature a ton of details and he does look very, very regal and expensive in my opinion. But once again, let's see them together. This older version is just so goofy compared to the new one, but I still think that he's much more obviously symbolizing greed, because he has a crown and everything, and this one, as expensive as he looks, I don't think it's as obvious. So I'm actually gonna call this a tie, because they're so different, and this one is definitely magnificent in its own way, whereas this one's just a little bit goofy. But I still have to say that I really love the original one, and I also love the new one, so it's a tie, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards the old one again. So the sixth one is Envy. This is what my original character looks like that I had in 7. What inspired me here is the thought that envy as a sin is something that can make you actually really depressed, because you always keep thinking that everyone else has it a lot better than you have, and you're never kind of happy with what you have. So that's why I wanted to give him this emo looking hair to make him look kind of like he's just a sad guy and he's never happy with anything. And I thought that a snake was a good symbol for envy, and obviously the color of green is associated with envy. So that's why I wanted to incorporate that. This one and the other one actually have the same commonality, that I wanted them to look poisonous, because also I think that the sin of envy is probably one of the worst ones, and it kind of makes you a poisonous person because, as I said, you're never happy for anyone else, you're always just really envious, and that's gonna make you feel really bad, and it's also gonna affect everyone else and make them feel bad, so that's why I wanted him to look kind of sickly and a little bit poisonous, and that theme also continues in the new one, so this is what she looks like. Ta-da! So this is my newer version of Envy. I wanted her to have really long, spiky horns to make her look like she's just kind of evil, but then, I don't know, for some reason the color just... because I didn't want to make her dark green like my original one, I kind of think that she looks like an alien or like a pickle. But she's still cute, and as I said, I wanted her to look kind of poisonous, so that's why she has all of these gray dots on her, and this is what she looks like, and here they are next to each other. Ta-da! So as you can see, they have a lot of similarities, but they're also quite different. With these two, I would say that I think obviously when you look at the skill level, this one's definitely a lot better. But then the concept of Envy and what I really wanted to go for when I designed this one, I think is much more apparent with the old one once again. But I'm gonna say once again that it's a tie because they're very, very similar. Just the ideas that I had and how I executed it, I would say that it's a tie with these two. And then we have the final one, which is based on the deadliest sin of pride. So this one was the one that I used in 7. He's the one that I made originally. I wanted him to look really magnificent and just kind of like a ruler of the kingdom, the mastermind behind everything that's bad. So that's why he looks really regal, and yeah, as I said, I mixed up the colors of greed and pride, so he should actually be purple, but I don't think it would look as cool. I actually think that this yellow worked out in my favor. So I think he looks really, really regal, and I definitely love how this one turned out. And then here's the newer version. So I had some really similar ideas for this one. As you can see, I wanted him to look kind of magnificent. With this one, I knew already at that point that I'd mixed up the colors. So I did give him yellow eyes once again, even though purple is the color of pride, apparently. But I didn't want yellow to be such a prominent color, and also I didn't want to make him look exactly like the old one. Yeah, this is what he looks like. These are his goofy wings because I had to cover up some of the imperfections with the back of the wings. Yeah, they have the same theme of trying to look really regal, and I think that the base figures work well for both of these, but this is what they look like together. Ta-da! So here are my Pride boys together. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that once again I prefer the original one. It's probably because of some sort of nostalgia, to be honest. I can't see the new ones as better than the old ones because I love the old ones so much, because they were the ones that inspired me to make the series. Or the series inspired me to make them. I don't know which way around it is, but I think I have a soft spot for these. I can't really see the new ones as being better in any way. Even though a lot of people told me that I should have used the newer ones in my series because they preferred their designs and they thought that they were better made. Which, I agree obviously that the new ones are better made, but I don't think the designs are actually that good compared to the old ones. But that's just my opinion, and as I said, I would love to hear what you guys think. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that I could convey all the ideas that I had for these. I'm sorry that I talk so much. I know it annoys you guys, but that's just how I roll. So, hope you enjoyed it. And I always hope that you guys can pick up on some ideas from this. Like, as I said, I don't like you guys copying my ideas completely or, you know, copying my original characters and stuff like that. As I hopefully made it really clear in this video, these are super, super precious to me. So please don't copy them exactly, but I hope that you can pick up lots of inspiration from these and make your own 7 Deadly Sins customs if that's what you want to do. So I hope that this inspired you. That's always what I want to do with my videos, is just inspire. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know which versions you prefer of the Sins. And thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next video. Bye bye!